Bruno Fernandes publicly calling out Alejandro Garnacho speaks volumes after Chelsea's sale. Alejandro Garnacho got a move to Chelsea this summer after falling out with Ruben Amorim, but Bruno Fernandes' past comments on the ex-Manchester United winger could serve as a warning to his new club. Bruno Fernandes claimed that Alejandro Garnacho didn't have the best attitude when he broke through the Manchester United Youth Academy. The 21-year-old has now parted ways with the club altogether after finally securing his move to Chelsea. The Argentine winger signed his first professional contract with the Red Devils back in 2022 after making the move from Atletico Madrid 2 years prior. However, United club captain Fernandes claimed Garnacho didn't have the best attitude when he made the step up to the first team under Erik ten Hag. Speaking in November 2022, after Garnacho scored the winning goal in a Europa League group stage game against Real Sociedad, Fernandes told BT Sport, "He was good, but he knows we expect a lot from him. He's still really young, doing really well. At the beginning of the season, he was not at his best. On the preseason tour, he did not have the best attitude. That's why he didn't get his chance until now. He's getting his chances because he's training better. He's having the correct attitude." Garnacho received a wealth of opportunity in his first season for the Red Devils, racking up 3 goals and 2 assists in the Premier League from 19 appearances. And while the youngster also initially looked to be a part of Ruben Amorim's plans when the Portuguese tactician arrived as Ten Hag's successor, things changed heading into the summer. Amorim's decision to deem Garnacho surplus to requirements at Old Trafford came after the winger publicly questioned the decision to bench him for the Europa League final loss to Tottenham Hotspur. Garnacho only came on in the second half of the 1-0 loss in Bilbao. After the match, he told the media, "Until we reached the final, I played every round. And I played 20 minutes today, I don't know. I'm going to try to enjoy the summer and see what happens next." He also criticized the club's Premier League campaign as they finished in 15th place, claiming, "Obviously it's hard for everyone. Our season was S******. We didn't beat anyone in the league. We lacked a lot of things. When you don't score goals, you always need more." As per The Athletic, Amorim is said to have told Garnacho, "You better hope you have a good agent this summer," during a training ground discussion ahead of United's final game of the season against Aston Villa, before the player made it clear that Chelsea was his destination of choice. While the Blues were in no great rush to submit a formal offer for Garnacho, they eventually snagged their man in the latter stages of the summer transfer window, coughing up £40 million to take him off United's hands on a long-term contract until 2032. Taking to Instagram in the wake of his departure, Garnacho was quick to thank the Red Devils and their supporters for his time in the Northwest. He wrote, "Dear Manchester, after an unforgettable 5 years, this special chapter in my life now comes to a close. We have created moments that will stay with me forever, and I'm very grateful for this. To the coaches, staff, and my teammates, thank you for believing in me. Every time I wore the badge, I gave everything I had. I leave proud of what we achieved together and excited for what's to come. Wishing the club nothing but success for the future, while I look forward to giving my all in the next chapter of my career." A number of Garnacho's United teammates were quick to reply to the post, with Kobbie Mainoo writing, "All the best, bro," while former Red Devils defender Sam Murray added, "All the best, hermano," and the likes of Matthijs de Ligt, Joshua Zirkzee, Rasmus Højlund, and Fernandes liked the post. Chelsea fans will unfortunately have to wait a little while before they see Garnacho in action for his new club, given the current international break. The Blues return to action come Saturday, September 13th, when they face Brentford at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Man United set for rapid Carlos Baleba meeting after personal terms agreement. Manchester United transfer news as Carlos Baleba will meet with Ruben Amorim after United's summer interest. Manchester United will meet Carlos Baleba later this month, just weeks after the Reds inquired about the Brighton and Hove Albion star services. During the summer transfer window, United registered an interest in signing the defensive midfielder shortly after completing the signing of Benjamin Sesko. Brighton swiftly informed Ruben Amorim's men that Baleba wasn't for sale, and it wasn't long before United informed their Premier League rivals they would not pursue a move. Their interest is, however, expected to be reignited in the future. The Athletic reported after the transfer window closed that United had agreed personal terms with Saliba over a move to Old Trafford. However, Brighton's £115 million, at the minimum, valuation is said to have put them off. United eventually decided against signing a new midfielder before Monday's deadline, instead bringing goalkeeper Sen Lamens in. Amid speculation over his future, Saliba has remained extremely professional and started all 3 of Brighton's league games. The midfielder is currently away with Cameroon for their World Cup qualifying doubleheader against Eswatini and Cape Verde. Upon his arrival in England, the 21-year-old will return to the Brighton squad for a busy September. Fabian Hürzeler's side take on Bournemouth, Tottenham, Chelsea and Wolves in the league, and Barnsley in the Carabao Cup before the next international break. After the October pause in domestic football, United welcome Saliba to Old Trafford on October 25th. The game will see Amorim watch Saliba in action for the first time this season and comes after a tough trip to rivals Liverpool the week previous. It is expected to be a key test of United's midfield strength, with Saliba tipped to play a central role in Amorim's tactical plans. Saliba will have another chance to show United and Amorim what he can do on the final day of the season in May when the reverse fixture takes place, potentially with higher stakes if both clubs are in the hunt for European spots or even a title challenge. His performances in these matches could prove decisive in shaping not only United's campaign, but also his own long-term future at the club. Manchester United are closing in on Brighton midfielder Carlos Saliba after reportedly agreeing personal terms with the 21-year-old. The Cameroonian international, valued at over £100 million, has emerged as a key target in United's midfield rebuild. Saliba has impressed since joining Brighton from Lille in 2023, making 40 league appearances last season with 4 goals and 2 assists, and winning the club's Young Player of the Season award. Talks will now focus on finalizing the deal structure. Thanks for watching. Stay for the next content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Furious Marc Guéhi could give up Crystal Palace captaincy after Liverpool move blocked. Paper round. Crystal Palace defender Marc Guéhi is understood to be weighing up his future as club captain after his long-anticipated move to Liverpool collapsed in dramatic fashion on transfer deadline day. Guéhi furious over Liverpool move collapse. The 24-year-old centre-back, who has been one of Palace's standout performers since arriving from Chelsea, was left angered and frustrated when a deal that seemed to be all but done was pulled at the very last moment. According to the Mirror, Guéhi had already completed a medical in London and was preparing to travel to Merseyside to officially put pen to paper on a 5-year contract with Liverpool. The Reds had seen their £35 million bid accepted by Palace chairman Steve Parish, despite manager Oliver Glasner voicing strong opposition to letting the defender leave without a replacement in place. The transfer breakdown. What looked like a straightforward switch quickly unraveled. Glasner reportedly warned the Palace board that he would consider resigning if Guéhi was sold without adequate cover secured. Palace had lined up Igor Julio from Brighton on loan as a short-term solution, but the Brazilian centre-back opted for West Ham instead, leaving Palace scrambling. With no alternative lined up and the deadline looming, Parish made a dramatic U-turn and withdrew from the deal, leaving Guéhi stunned. Sources close to the player suggest he felt betrayed by the club's handling of the situation, as personal terms and formalities with Liverpool had already been agreed. Captaincy in doubt. The fallout has been severe. Guéhi, who was handed the Palace captaincy this summer, is now reportedly considering relinquishing the armband in protest at what he sees as broken promises. The England international believes his career progression has been unfairly stalled and is said to be deeply unsettled by the episode. Liverpool, meanwhile, are thought to be disappointed but may revisit their interest in the January window. Jurgen Klopp's successor, Arne Slot, views Guéhi as a long-term defensive partner for Virgil van Dijk and is keen to bolster his options at the back. For now, though, Palace face the prospect of having a disillusioned captain in their dressing room, a scenario that could test Glasner's man management skills in the coming weeks. Guéhi is expected to hold crunch talks with Parish and Glasner after the international break to decide whether he will continue as skipper or step aside. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Marcus Rashford's role in Manchester United transfer as private conversation revealed. Marcus Rashford was the first member of the Manchester United bomb squad to secure a transfer away from Old Trafford this summer. Manchester United's on-loan winger Marcus Rashford has reportedly recommended Aston Villa to Jadon Sancho as the Englishman closes in on a deadline day move. Rashford, Sancho, and 3 other United players informed the club that they wish to leave Old Trafford this summer. The former was the first to seal his exit as he agreed to join Barcelona for the season. The writing had been on the wall for Rashford at United since December when he was dropped for the Manchester Derby. He then proceeded to join Villa after it became clear that a move to Barca in January was unlikely. At Villa Park, Rashford managed to regain his form momentarily before picking up an injury, which cut his campaign short. Mensport understands that United have offered Sancho to Villa on deadline day despite AS Roma being the frontrunners for his signature. It seems likely that Sancho will now move to Villa on loan before the window closes, and if he does, United may have Rashford to thank for helping get the deal through. According to journalist Graham Bailey at TBR Football, Rashford and Sancho have conducted private conversations regarding the possibility of the latter moving to Villa. Sancho is believed to be keen to discover the lay of the land at Unai Emery's club before green-lighting the move. The former Borussia Dortmund man received a glowing report from Rashford, who praised Villa's project under Emery and the atmosphere within the squad, which is understood to have played a key role in persuading him to join the Midlands club. For Sancho, the opportunity represents not only a fresh start, but also a chance to reignite his career in a competitive environment where he can play a central role. Premier League clubs had until 7 p.m. UK time to complete their business before the transfer window officially shut for the summer. However, as is often the case, paperwork and formalities can stretch beyond the deadline. Even if the transfer is not confirmed immediately, it could still be announced later in the evening or even the following day, provided that a deal sheet has been submitted before the cutoff point. A deal sheet acts as formal proof that both clubs have reached an agreement and are committed to finalizing the transfer, even if some details still need to be ironed out. It can only be submitted if the Premier League is satisfied there is a realistic prospect of the deal being concluded without complications. Once accepted, it gives clubs an additional 2 hours to finalize contracts, medicals, and registration. In Sancho's case, Villa and Manchester United are believed to be working against the clock, but optimism remains that the move will go through. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Marc Guéhi to Liverpool, transfer at risk of collapse amid Oliver Glasner decision. The latest Liverpool transfer news on deadline day. As Marc Guéhi deal in jeopardy because of outside factors. Marc Guéhi's deadline day transfer to Liverpool is reportedly under threat. The player is now said to be in crunch talks with his manager Oliver Glasner, who has been publicly adamant that a move should not be allowed to go through without a replacement for him being signed. Hours before the 7 p.m. transfer deadline, the Echo reported Liverpool had reached a £35 million agreement with Crystal Palace for Guéhi's services. That proposed deal was to include a 10% sell-on clause, and the 25-year-old was granted permission to have a medical in London. However, at this late hour of the summer window, Liverpool's deal has been thrown into fresh doubt because the Eagles' move for Igor Julio or Brighton, an intended replacement, appears to have collapsed. The Athletic explained that Glasner is, therefore, in talks with his captain in a bid to reach a late, final decision over whether Guéhi is to become a Liverpool player or not tonight. The Reds might not be able to take confidence from this scenario, as it is the German who is adamantly against the transfer this summer. Last night, following Palace's 3-0 win at Aston Villa, he told BBC Sport, "I told the chairman, Steve Parish, that we have to keep Mark if we want to play a successful season. We have no chance to find the right replacement in one day. We all agreed that we just sell Mark if we have the right replacement in the building. We wanted a replacement by July 1st. It is August 31st, and we have no replacement. We have this agreement, so it is clear from me. He is such a crucial player. He is one of our key players. He is our captain. But his superiors have initially proceeded to strike an agreement with Liverpool, anyway, allowing a medical to take place. Only with the latest developments involving Igor has this given Glasner a chance to put a halt to the move. It remains to be seen whether Guéhi will join the Premier League champions this summer. If they are to do so, they may now be required to fill out a transfer deal sheet, which grants an extra 2 hours to finalize a deal. Otherwise, the Reds would face waiting for the January window or next summer, when Palace would lose Guehi for free at the end of his contract. Transfer deadline day is already upon us, and Liverpool still have business to do. It's already been a busy summer for the Premier League champions, but they could still pull off a couple of blockbuster signings as the window comes to a close. Alexander Isak's future remains unresolved, with the striker refusing to play or train for Newcastle United. Liverpool remain interested in a deal for the Swede. Meanwhile, Marc Guehi has been a player of interest all summer, and Liverpool could still launch a last-minute deal for the Crystal Palace defender. Let's wait and see what happens. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.